trade war and negotiation are the same thing? Is that what you just said?
Don't you feel like that's what's been going on since Trump's been in office?
No, we're literally having a trade war now.
Right.
The negotiation didn't work out. So now we blow it up, and then his advisors tell him all the damage that's being caused, and then hopefully that leads to a second negotiation. But I would say
negotiation or war?
I would say we're in the war.
Okay, so it sounds more like a negotiation.
And this is maybe the key to the whole thing, unless you think the bark, so to speak, is worse than the bite.
The tariffs are going into effect. It is the bite.
Yeah, they're going.
Are we not all on the same page?
The tariffs could not go into effect very easily, and then everyone would step back. We're the aggressor. We've announced $34 billion worth of tariffs that will go into place tonight.
China.
Midnight tonight, which is the middle of the day tomorrow, China. China responds. U.S. does nothing, China doesn't respond. So everyone's basically just responding to our actions.
Oh, okay.
There's another $16 billion along the way. Josh, what's the economic impact on the Chinese economy?
Of what?
Of the tariffs.
I don't care about the Chinese economy.
Why not?
Okay, let me tell you what I care about.
No. Why don't you care about the Chinese economy? Because we're talking about synchronized global growth. The Chinese economy is what is driving the synchronized global growth. What's the hit to Chinese GDP on $34 billion worth of tariffs? It's 2%. It's basically two basis points. That is the point.
U.S. large cap companies have global supply chains. It's not, international trade is not, I'm winning versus you. That is like from 1988.
They have international supply chains, so the bigger impact is going to be Taiwan,
I heard you.
Malaysia,
General
South
Motors,
Korea.
okay.
It's going to be the ones that make the components.
None of it's good. General Motors relies on 20,000 global companies in its supply chain, meaning goods cross our border that way, and then they come back in a different condition this way, and it's required. And if those components do not come seamlessly from this global supply chain that, by the way, has taken like 25 years to build up, if they don't come, then prices on automobiles in the U.S. get raised. In addition, U.S. auto manufacturers rely on the sale of 2 million vehicles a year outside of the U.S., and now that's threatened. So none of it is good, by the way, and also none of it is going to do what it stated.
Which is why, hold on, which is why I go back to my earlier point of bark being worse than actual bite. You have all of the talk about the auto tariffs, then you have the U.S. ambassador to Germany suggesting, hey, let's have discussions about zero tariffs on both sides. Market rallies, Dow's off the best levels of the day, but still it's 180 points. Well, that's the way this negotiating process goes.
No, it doesn't have to.
It's been going. It's been going like that for a year and a half.
You may not like the sausage-making process of this negotiator, but maybe it doesn't produce the worst fears.
We had an agreement. It was called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It did exactly what we wanted to do. It evened out some of the problems with dealing with China. It strengthened our partnership with nations in that part of the world that we trade with around China. China did not love it. I'm not saying it was the greatest thing ever. It is definitely better than unilateral, multilateral tariff
Here's the reality.
war.
Tariffs have already been in effect on steel and aluminum while you were out.
It's not going well.
While you were out the last 3 weeks, what a friend of mine told me, who's in the bond business, so for the duties that come in, you have to get a bond to make sure you pay, right? So bonds for steel makers that import steel have gone from $300,000 to $3 million. That affects the economy. So, sure, there's a lot of negotiation going on, but the fact is, to Josh's point, there is a trade war. And while we may, as investors, be willing to take a chance that this is more bark than bite, the facts are you've got CEOs that have to be a lot more responsible with their budgets, take a much longer view.
I agree with you. Are you then telling me that the summer rally's out the window as a result of all of this?
This could get settled tomorrow.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.